Hi, how are you? I don't have. Hi, hi, Eva, Leah, BTS Forever 7, June Lin, Beth, Jojo, Bangluna, hello. I'm me, the Bio Explorer, hello. Sa Tino, say, Angel, I hope that if you have friends or relatives, or if you are in Florida, I hope that you guys are safe. Alisa, Living Sweetly, Tracy. I hope, yeah, if you have a family member or friends, or if you are in Florida, I hope everything's well with you. I do have a cousin in Florida. Oh my God. How are they? Your son and his wife, are they okay? Hi, Linda, Dodger girl, Misha, Joanna. So I do have a cousin in Florida, and we were actually texting him frantically for the last several days, and he finally responded. Hi, Pablo. He finally responded to one of our relatives. He said that he's fine. He's fine. Like they were able to prepare, and he thinks that they are ready. So we were relieved to hear that, but the mere fact that he couldn't even respond for several days was kind of scary for us. But we understand, of course. We're not. Hi, Emma. We're not mad or we're not upset that he didn't respond. I mean, we understood that he was trying to like evacuate and prepare his family. So, yeah. Tracy said, please don't forget to like the video. Yes, please don't forget to like the video. But yeah, I hope that you have friends and family in Florida. I hope that everything's okay. So he also told us that, and several other people that work with us, they said that Florida has a great governor, and he has always been prepared for things like this. So as of course they can't avoid people losing their homes and casualties and whatever, at the very least, the governor is there to do something about it, to prepare them for as much as they can, and assistance is there. So, and I heard his address um, earlier in the morning, and he said that the government has been like very generous in providing him the help that he has requested for the people of Florida. So, I'm happy for that. Yeah, so I hope that that you that your family, if you know anybody that's in there, I hope they're good. My friends in Tampa just checked in. No electricity, but have generator 120. Oh my God, 120. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. So if we on our end, hi Sandy, I miss you too. Frankie, hello. Pat, hello. So I'll try to keep things a little livelier. I know that we are worried for them, especially if we do have family and friends there. Yeah, so send in prayers or good energy, whatever it is that you believe in. Just try to send those to them because they need anything that we can send their way. So I'm sure that they will appreciate prayers or wishes, or good energy their way. Hi, Juliet. Miso soup. Hello. Rachel, Jasmina, Moni, I've said hello to the Bio Explorer. Definitely sending good energy. Yeah, doesn't matter what it is that you believe in, but whatever it is, just the good side of it, send it their way, right? Okay, so I'm sure that you have heard that Jungkook and Jimin are nominated for the European VMA, and many of you actually requested me to talk about this because they were so confused about some of the people or some of the groups that were nominated, because they don't understand how is it that somebody you didn't know that they are nominated. They are nominated, so you can vote. I will post a link as to where you can actually cast your vote. So European MTV, European VMA. So the thing is that they are both in the same category. So I guess just both, vote for both. So you can vote 5 times for each, and just try to vote. There are other groups. I didn't know it was, yeah, it was confirmed. So there are other groups and other acts, let's just put it that way, that were also nominated. And a lot of people were just wondering, like, at this stage, why aren't BTS picking up more nominations? And why are still getting boxed in the K-pop category? I do hate that they're being pitted against each other. And I also don't think that they should, quite honestly, I don't think that they should be in the K-pop category at this stage, in any awards giving body. I just don't. I just don't feel that they belong there. And a lot of people are also confused about the Grammy nominations. How are they nominated already? Or what is the process? Okay, so let's go through this. I will share my screen. You're as per usual, you're going to see a blank screen, just white for several seconds. So just wait for it until it becomes all right. Let me know once you actually see it, once you start seeing what's on my screen. Do you see now a white blank page? Especially if songs are in English. Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right. So for the MTV VMA, so there are three major awards in the US and one or two in Europe. Um, in for VMA, let's talk about VMA first. For you to become nominated, there are some categories where fans can actually vote as to who may be nominated. Best new artist, best trending videos, and stuff like that. Also, remember that VMA actually started with MTV as a music video channel. Even Lisa, who isn't doing K-pop right now, and she's even Thai, they still box her in a K-pop category. Agree. So in some categories, you can actually vote on as to who you think is going to should be nominated. And then in some categories, the winner will be determined either by sales or also by voting. Um, According to the VMAs, nominees for VMAs are selected by MTV's internal committee, which includes industry professionals, producers, and executives. This committee reviews music videos and performances from previous year to determine nominees in each category. So this was several years ago. This is what they put in their website. So as I've said, in some category, fans can actually vote who to nominate, but in some categories, they are the ones that are nominating them. If then, so they said that the total number of votes submitted during the voting period for the nominees in each category will be tabulated by the sponsor, which is them. The sponsor is the sponsors of VMAs or VMA itself. If for any reason this voting process is interrupted or is found to have been tampered with in any way, for any reason that sponsor believes in its sole discretion to be reasonably necessary, the sponsor reserves the right to select the winner at its discretion and may take into consideration the number of votes, may take the consideration. So when it comes to choosing the winner, although they will consider the votes, they have the sole discretion to consider it or not consider it if they feel like for any reason the winner isn't deserving. So they really don't have a measure on how they will, or even a guide on how they are going to choose the winner. So if for the music video, for example, if for example I'm going to judge it, um, 50% cinematography, 25% direction, 25% story. Let's just put it that way. At least that is some sort of a guide. But to them, there is nothing like that. They just don't consider it. Like, okay, you can vote, but it is our discretion to discredit or to disregard the voting, the winner through voting, and they can just decide for themselves. So, um, in other words, of the three major award giving bodies in the US, VMAs, Grammys, and AMAs, VMA is the one that has always been janky, in my opinion. That's not a very professional word, but not credible. primarily because they really don't care to give any kind of credibility towards their reputation. They really are there for popularity. So if they can get more engagement, higher ratings by nominating a specific artist, then they will do that. And they have done that in the past. They have also latched on to controversial performances in the past. Remember that they became popular. I don't know if you know this, when Madonna performed as an opening in one of, I think it was maybe 20 years ago. She performed Like a Virgin. So more than 20 years ago. She performed Like a Virgin. And no, so she was like crawling on stage, and you know how she performs. And nobody told her that her boobs were out. Like one of her, like one boob was actually totally out, and it was like being broadcasted to the public. She performed a quarter of the entire song with her boobs out. And so that made VMA popular. And then from then on, they followed it up with one controversy after another, or one great performance after the other. And so that's basically the lifeline of this show. It's not really about recognizing quality, it's just about controversy. At some point, they were giving awards like Best Kiss. There were categories like that, Best Pause, so things like that, like totally funny, and you know that they are not being serious. So VMA, for the most part, is really there for popularity. It's not really there to recognize quality music or quality music video. Um, so I feel that that is, to a certain degree, a waste, because they do have a great opportunity, since they have been known as the authority or the home of music videos. They could have really pushed the art forward. Instead, they just latched onto controversies. And so instead of evolving music video into a separate or a different art, connected but a different art, they just became controversial. I think they could have been the catalyst in revitalizing the movie industry in Hollywood, which is obviously dying in terms of quality. So, but again, they did not pay attention to that. They just wanted controversies, they just wanted clicks, they wanted ratings. So it's fun to be there. It's fun to be recognized by MTV. It's fun to get an award. Sure, it's something that you can put in your resume. You can display the awards in your trophy stand, but it's not really there to recognize one's artistry. Um, Attendance award. It's not necessarily an attendance award, but it counts on lobbying. So for you to actually get recognized or even nominated, there has to be some PR moves, some, either your label or your publicist, making its way inside the industry in order to put your name forward. So I really wouldn't take it, as I've said, I wouldn't take it seriously, because it's a fun night, it's a fun award show, but it's not there to recognize quality. So, like, sure, if you're, congratulations, you won, but it's not. I mean, at this stage, especially because I'm a fan of BTS, I think that at this stage in their career, and at this stage in my life as well, I'm really looking for artistry. So if you're not really the kind of award giving body that recognizes artistry, what are you good for? So don't exert a lot of energy in trying to discredit people who are nominated, or getting angry because your favorite wasn't nominated. It's just a fun show. It's not a real award show. I am not saying, though, let me just clarify. I am not saying it is a it is irrelevant. It's still relevant, for the purpose that it serves, and that is for controversy, for ratings, for clicks. It's, as I've said, it's a fun night. New artists are getting introduced. It's a way to bridge the very known artists with lesser known artists, a chance for for a lot of Americans to actually see great performances and performances of new artists. It is relevant in that regard, but not relevant in terms of recognizing an artistry. Is it true that VMA's ratings have plummeted in the past 3 years? I think probably past 7 years, I'd say. It's not just 3 years. Maybe past 5 years. A huge chunk of it really is because of the lack of good performances in VMAs. Uh, there used to be, I mean, Michael Jackson moment, for example, it was a shock. He shocked the entire world. It was a fun night, and he really displayed his artistry. We don't get that a lot anymore. Um, so yeah, it don't just chill. It's nothing serious. It's just a fun night for artists to show off their new song, to perform, but it's not there to recognize artistry. Okay, we will go back to that. We'll discuss that. We just continue. For Grammys, how are so this is the for somebody to get nominated, you need to be voted to be nominated. So this is the schedule as to when the voting is going to happen, when the nominations are going to be announced, and then the final round of voting where the members of the academy will be voting for the winners, and then the actual awards night. Okay. So what happens is the product eligibility is, this is the time when all the songs and albums released within this time frame are qualified to be nominated. First step would be that the agency or the label will have to submit the artist or their work to be nominated. It doesn't mean that you are nominated, you're just submitting. And yes, you do need to pay for you to be considered for nomination. And then the first round of voting is when all the members of the academy actually vote. They cast their vote. They either go to the office or they fill out the ballot, which is sent to their homes. Okay. And then they are going to decide who's going to be nominated based on the votes. And that will be announced November 8th. So that is 1 month from now. The final round of voting is when the members of the academy will actually vote from the nominees. So whether or not, so remember, Jungkook, Jimin, J Hope, and RM were all submitted to be considered for nomination. And then others that were submitted, I think twice submitted to be considered. Lisa was submitted to be considered, and several other K-pop artists were submitted for consideration. So if any of them actually make it and become a nominee, then they will be announced as a nominee on November 8th, 2024. Okay? It's making my heart palpitate. Oh yeah, yes, V also was submitted for nomination. And then between December 12th to January 3, the members of the academy will come together again, and then they will vote as to who's going to win based on the nominees. Okay. And then the awards night is when they will announce who the winner is or the winners are, and that will be February next year. Now, the question is, who can vote? I mean, the members of the academy, in that, since they are the ones that are casting the vote, who's going to be nominated and who's going to win, it means that the, I guess, part of the destiny of these artists is actually on their hand, right? So how do you become a member? Okay. So you have to be invited. That's for sure. And then you pay monthly to keep your membership active. Remember, in South Korea, there are only 8 artists that are members of the academy. 7 of them are BTS members. So each of them, they're actually individually, they are members as individuals. So they cast their votes separately. The eighth is Bang Shiyok. And then they pay annually to keep that membership going. And you also need to show proof of your work to keep your membership going. So the question now is, how do you then get invited? One way is by sheer merit of your work. So some, it happens where they just get the invitation because they become popular, they become successful, they win awards and stuff like that. So it could be sheer merit of your work. Or if someone lobbies for you, because some people aren't necessarily popular. Like they may actually create great work, but no one knows about it because, for example, I know of someone. I was actually supposed to handle her PR. She has had. She's the queen of um, OSTs. Like a lot of her songs would get chosen for TV shows and for movies, but she's not like a big name commercially. Like she's not very popular. And so one, like her previous previous agent actually lobbied for her to become a member. So she's a member. So two ways: either you are merited for the quality of your work, or if someone lobbies for you. Now, the thing about Hollywood, and this is very important. Again, let me just do a disclaimer. Just because I'm saying all of these things, it doesn't mean that I feel that all the winners of the VMAs or all the winners of the Grammys are undeserving. Definitely not. A lot of the winners that they got, at least that they awarded the a lot of the winners of different awards, I feel were deserving, at least based on my taste and my opinion. It's just that they also missed a lot of artists and they also awarded artists that don't deserve to win. Okay, so but not, it's not like a total sham. There are some artists that have been recognized that I absolutely feel deserve to be recognized. Now, the thing about Hollywood is that it is very, very cliquish. It's a cliquish industry, and it's a cliquish industry. They take care of their own, and for you to penetrate that clique, that environment, you're going to have to go through hell and back. And all this, it's not always the Diddy kind of way. You don't always have to attend those kinds of parties, but that's one way of getting into the clique. But there's also just sheer hard work, luck, and as I've said, if you get lobbied or get the support of other big names in Hollywood. But it doesn't change the fact that it is a cliquish industry. And cliques and their ideologies are more important than art for the most part. Okay. So if you don't belong in their clique, even if you have great work, or if you change your ideology and they don't agree with it, you can be ousted anytime. For example, RM once said that he thinks BTS will forever be an outsider in Hollywood, and I kind of agree because I don't think they are the kind of group that would succumb to the culture of ass licking in Hollywood, and you need to do a lot of that. um, so there's that factor that would get in their way, that would really either slow down their popularity or slow down their acceptance within the community. So just because they are presenting the best kind of work doesn't mean they will win, because the people that will decide who's going to win are subjected to they are prisoners of their own biases. So if they think supporting one person is a popular thing to do, that's what they'll do. If they think that if they don't like your ideology, then they will not support you, even if you present the best kind of work. So, in that regard, even though they get a lot of things right, they also get a lot of things wrong. In other words, it's a popularity game among celebrities. And as I've said, if you're subjected to this kind of pressure, you have to agree to their ideology, you have to be a member of their clique, or you have to be able to get into their clique. It's not really always about art. It's about politics, not just politics as in Washington, D.C. politics, but politics within the industry itself. And that is why PR is important. You need someone to lobby for you inside the industry if you're not willing to submit yourself to all the BS in the industry. You need a really good PR in order, and a really good insider in the industry to push them, to push you inside without having to subject yourself to those kind of things. So, the answer to the question, why are some artists who aren't artistically or commercially successful getting nomination? It's lobbying, in other words. They can call it some other name, but that's what it is. It's lobbying. They have somebody that's supporting them inside that's able to actually push them and campaign for them to be considered. Um, that's it for that portion. Want to hear what you guys have to say. What do you think? Are you disappointed that there's very few nomination for BTS for VMAs? The year Steely Dan won over Eminem was the year I lost all respect for them. Grammy politics. Yeah, Grammy politics. And also like the real Washington DC politics that's also going to, which I really as you know, this channel doesn't deal with politics. Um I do think that if you want some political views or you want to do some political research, the last thing that you should be going to is an Asian entertainment channel. Go to experts, not here. So um unfortunately, a lot of people within Hollywood, they can't make the distinction between art and politics. They feel like no, it has to be one and the same. Like when you create songs or when you make movies, it has to support certain ideologies. And so if they don't agree with that, or if you refuse to do that, then you get isolated. These awards are very political. I'm afraid that they will have to pay behind the scenes. After all, P.Diddy scandal. I'm glad that they are not close with these terrible people. I thought that's why we got Scooter Braun and HYBE America. Yeah, that's one of the reasons they got Scooter, and they got a PR company. Um, uh, and I hope that he will be able to do wonders, but I think it's going to take time. Remember that Scooter Braun went against Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift is such a big she's such a big presence in the US, and so that's like a big war he went into. So I mean he's still a lot of people actually really like Scooter Braun. He's known as a good guy in Hollywood, but um for as long as people remember what happened, then they are most like there will be some barriers. I think that's the best way of putting it. There's going to be some barriers, but I'm sure he's going to find his way around it. This might be our boy's best chance with so many within the industry being under suspicion with the Diddy scandal, and least they know our boys are clean. Yeah, true. Hey, I'm old and like Steely Dan, but no, not that album. A VMA win or loss. Okay, so too fast. Um, Wait, someone actually got. Okay, do you think Tickle's World? Do you think that BTS will be able to review all the subs and put in their votes while they are in the military? They are allowed to do anything is not um generating revenue for themselves, and being a member of the Grammy does not generate any revenue for themselves, and voting certainly doesn't generate reviews, so they should be able to put in their votes. That shouldn't I don't see any problem with that. It's like getting your mail, right? And then answering a questionnaire or something like that. Isn't that what your agents are for? Yes, that's part of what your agent is for. And right now, do remember that BTS is not under the BTS's label is not HYBE America. BTS's label is Big Hit, but he is there, Scooter Braun, and the PR company is there so that they can work their way into opening some doors for BTS. So, but it'll take time. It'll take time, and they just hired the PR company. Scooter Braun is still working out some things, I'm assuming. It's not that fast. It's not that fast. And besides, it's hard to actually introduce somebody who's not there because right now BTS members aren't working. They're in the military. So we're going to have to wait a little longer. Moving forward, I just put at then type your name manually. I'm tired of all their music being put in the K-pop category. I agree with that. I really don't think that they should be put under the K-pop category. And I think creating a K-pop category is one of the worst things that could have happened for BTS because it just gave people an excuse. It gave award giving bodies an excuse to use their name without having to actually recognize them. So, yeah, I don't like that. I do not support that. I don't support any kind of labeling at this stage for okay, so there are certain things that are very local and very cultural, and I get that. That's fine. Like for example, the BET awards, right? That's fine. That was created specifically for the black community, for black entertainers, and I get that. So that is fine. But Grammy, VMAs, and all these other award giving bodies, they've always marketed themselves as an international award giving body. So if you're going to market yourself that way, then you have to do that. In the same breath, for example, in the Philippines, we have award giving bodies. That's for Filipinos. So I would assume I am going to expect that Filipinos are going to win, right? Even though there are foreign acts that are popular in the US. But given that Grammy is actually marketing itself as an international award giving body, that they are inclusive and all of those stuff, then I would assume that any kind of award, any kind of album or song that was released in the US, played in their airwaves, marketed in the US should be qualified. Um, okay. Grammy is so afraid of BTS winning that they had to be put in a different category. Uh, okay. Grammy doesn't have a K-pop category as far as I know. Audrey, he is the CEO of HYBE America. Scooter Braun is the CEO of HYBE America. Um, RM is in for hip hop album. That's an even harder category to be noticed because that's the and all respects. I give all of my respect to the African American community because hip hop is theirs. It was because of their history and their culture that came to be, and the Jamaicans as well. So I understand that it's the African American rappers and hip hop artists that are more likely to win. But I do think that RM is just simply one of the best in the world, if not the best. Grammy was for English music. Scammies. The K-pop category is basically there because mainstream feels threatened by them. Yeah, I agree. That's why I absolutely do not agree with the K-pop category. Army Independence Day. A K-pop category isn't in Grannies, correct? Yeah, they don't have a K-pop category. Labeling groups is like saying, "Stay in your lane. We don't want you here." It's quite segregation, racism. Yep, I agree. I do think it is just an excuse for them to use artists for clout, for clicks, for ratings, and for engagements without having to recognize them. So no, I don't appreciate all those the labels and the categories for K-pop. Thank you for respecting hip hop. I respect everyone who does rap, including K-pop, but hip hop is cultural. It's more than music. Yep, I agree. Um, Happy Army Independence. This is exactly what it is. With HYBE purchase of the PR firm in the US, would the other agencies under HYBE utilize this firm? They will be able to utilize that firm. Um, But remember that the firm is only 51% owned by Hive, so there's still the 49%. So the other thing is that you do need if you're a businessman, if you're an entrepreneur, for example, and you have many products that are in front of you who have been successful in different markets. Some are successful in Korea, some are successful in Japan, some, let's just talk products, okay? Like actual products, not even artists. And then you're here and you're about to penetrate west the North American market. You are not going to push all of your products at the same time, right? You're going to push the products that you think will be liked and supported by Americans because you have a greater chance of success there. Or in marketing terms, we like calling it the low hanging fruit, right? So even though all the labels will be able to utilize the PR firm, HYBE will most likely prioritize who's going to get the most exposure and the most effort. And they are most likely going to prioritize the groups or the acts that have better chances of going global. Creating K-pop category is intentional. I know it's rewarding to be recognized, but we need to realize we are dealing with business and an industry catering to their own needs. Artists need a more holistic. Yes. So thank you for saying that, Ophelia or Ophelia. So as a fan, and I really will encourage everybody to do this. I think I'm sure a lot of you are already doing this. So maybe my call or my request would be for all of you to actually affect others in doing this. I think it's better if we concentrate on the essence of the music and the quality of the music and the lyrics instead of just hyping their looks or concentrating on the records. Just really encourage people to concentrate on the quality of the beats, quality of the melody, the message, the lyrics, instead of, as I've said, superficial way of supporting them. That is the only way we can really prove that BTS's artistry is a cut above the rest. I see a lot of one of the things that have frustrated me in the past, is how so many armies would support. Like for example, this is just, I guess this is the easiest example. So many armies would support reactors who really don't say anything about the music video and about the song. Like they're just yapping and just jumping and just faking their enthusiasm with what they're seeing, but they don't really talk about the lyrics and the artistry and why this beat is actually different or this melody is actually different, how the style of singing is different, and how, no, nothing like that. It's all about just, yeah, yelling and shouting, and then at the end of it's like, yes, I'm going to include this in my playlist. And I'm like, is that the best way? I understand that there are some people who just like being excited with other reactors, and that's fine, that's totally fine. um I watch some YouTubers who are just fun to watch. Like nothing really, they're just fun to watch, and that's fine. But I hope that we also consciously seek out those that are providing critical analysis on the actual art, which is dancing and singing and music videos. That's one of the ways we can really push forward the quality of the art of BTS. I hope that we start doing that. Um, and we start encouraging. I know that you guys are already doing that. I'm sorry. I just hope that you guys will affect others and encourage others to do that. BTS baiting is rampant. Oh, yeah, it's so frustrating. Um, I'm not into cancel culture, especially since half the time they end up being wrong once all the info comes to light. People need to not to judge based on rumors or accusations. I don't know the context of that, but I totally agree. I am going to release a video sometime next month, but I'm going to go through everyone who has been, not everyone, but many artists who have been canceled and what happened to their career. Because when I was doing the research, it was so funny that everyone who has been canceled, they're actually doing well, more than well. So it's like this cancel culture is nothing. It's a piece of because it doesn't do anything. I think Grammy will give Eminem an award. They owe him. He this Grammy RM is outstanding. I love his work. Quite honestly, Eminem is just one of the best poets out there. Like he that guy can rhyme. He can rhyme. You can know the fake reactors who are in it for the views and the ones who really wants to know them and enjoy musically. For my Patreon subscribers, I think it would be good, like if we can share YouTube links of reactors and reviewers who are really reviewing and reacting with substance. How is that? I think that would be great if we can support more of those. Um, Scooter Braun is leaving his artist management company to focus on HYBE America. That's why artists like Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber left. They knew he was leaving. Uh, as far as I know, it was actually yeah. So you're kind of correct. He Justin Scooter Braun told the artists that he is going to stop managing them, and he actually waited for them to find the manager before he stopped because he's going to concentrate in being a CEO. I want to hear about music theory and lyricism from reactors or vocal coaches. Yeah, so I think that would be good if we can share. So if you guys aren't a member of my Patreon yet, please be a member. There is a free membership tier. So I think it would be nice if we can share some of the links of our favorite reactors that are really giving substance. I think that would support them and encourage them to do more of that. Eminem is a legend. I agree. Yes, we can do that. Yes, the Bio Explorer. In a minute, you can really see if it's for clout. Yeah, I actually do. I within like 30 seconds, I can see if this person knows anything or if this person is sincere. Yeah. You love Eminem's Temporary. Do you watch John Kim? I don't. Oh, Ray Alvarez is he's asking. Elaine, yes, I agree as your Patreon subscriber. Yes, let's do that. Do you have moderators for your live stream? No, but I'm interviewing some people now, so most likely next week I'm going to have some moderators. um okay, Me Too is totally okay. Hi Boy is good for business analysis. Yeah. I heard. I don't watch any of his videos though. I've explained why. I have absolutely nothing against him. I'm cheering for him from the sidelines, but I don't watch any of his videos. The DJ Jino, but don't expect him to like every BTS song. Grammy isn't in the spirit of music. Fairlane, sorry about the duplicate. Do you know the history behind Army Independence Day? I want to run something past our Patreon group before adding it as part of the history group I'm working on. No, I don't know the Army Independence Day. What's your take on P. Diddy and company? Good thing JK was in the military. I am so glad that, okay, two things. Of course, I feel I'm bummed out that JK actually missed the opportunity to perform in that's one of the biggest shows in the world. Like 99% of Super Bowl. I didn't finish my sentence. In Super Bowl. That's like that's 99% of the entire country actually watches the Super Bowl. It would have been a big moment for him. And we know he can perform. He's going to bring it. So I'm bummed out that he missed that opportunity. I do not agree that it is Hybe's fault. It is not Hybe's choice to make him serve, um and we don't know the full story. I know that they can ask for exemptions, like if it is a big opportunity they could allow somebody who's serving to perform, but we don't know the story. Maybe they did ask and he wasn't allowed or whatever. So I'm bummed out that he missed that. That's the whole point. I'm bummed out that he missed that, but I'm also a little glad that he missed it because of all the things that have been coming out. So I would like to just leave it to, again, whatever you believe in, to the universe, to God, or to whatever, that this whatever happened to JK, to Jungkook, is for the good. And I will just leave it and hope and know for sure that something better is waiting for him. JK missed a huge opportunity, but he made the decision and help. Yeah, I mean, it was his decision to serve early. Yeah. Maybe Bang PD knows via Scooter. I know, right? I'm so glad JK dodged the bullet with the Super Bowl. That is one part. I want them as far away as possible from this controversy. There will be more opportunities for BTS and the members individually. I agree. They have an entire lifetime ahead of them. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen again. Let's talk about Hanni. Yes, they planned their military service ahead of time, way ahead of time, and everything is their decision. Hanni, her real name is Pham Ngoc Han. So she's Vietnamese by race, but she grew up. She was born and raised in in Australia. So she's Australian by nationality, but in terms of race, she's actually Vietnamese, and that's her real name, Pham Ngoc Han. All right. So she posted something in Phoning, which is their own version, an exclusive New Jeans version of Weverse, where they can directly communicate with their fans. And this is what she said: I decided I will attend the National Assembly and I'm going alone. You don't need to worry. I'm doing this for myself and the members. It won't be hard. The managers and the company don't know yet. I have a lot of thoughts, but I think it's right to go and attend. I wanted to tell bunnies first, but I think having someone to cheer for me, blah, blah, blah. So she's thanking bunnies, their fandom, for the support. No need to worry, she said. Don't worry, I'll go. I'm going. There's no need to feel sorry either. Sorry, I'll do well and come back. Okay, that's what she said. So as I've said, her real name is Pham Ngoc Han, and that's how she's going to be addressed in the National Assembly, because you are addressed using your real name, not your stage name. She is Vietnamese by race, but she grew up in Australia, and she has gotten a lot of people in trouble because of her broken Korean. She does speak Korean though, but it's very broken. And this is her and the second mother, what they consider to be second mother. So there is a lot of people are wondering, why is she doing this? I don't have the direct answer. There are some observations though. I have some observations about Hanny. Initially, I thought that maybe because she's Australian, there is a huge part of her that is also influenced by how frank Westerners could be, very straightforward, very hard headed. They go for what they want. And so I felt initially that maybe this is her. Like, she has always been very vocal of her support with Min Heejin. So maybe this is her. Just have they've oh like they she just really is very vocal, and she wants to make her opinion known and her stance known. And she's not somebody that you can just tell to keep quiet or whatever. And I think the culture, how she was raised, and the culture, the environment she was raised in Australia played a huge part of it. But on the other hand, I also don't know Australians to be rude and inconsiderate. I have some Australian friends, not a lot, but I do have some Australian friends, and they are some of the most considerate and most polite people that I've ever met. And she doesn't seem to realize that what she is doing is actually causing harm on other people. And I've said this once and I'll say it again. I do think that they are so brainwashed that they really don't see or think of anything else but themselves and Min Heejin. I still believe that. But I also find it hard to believe that she isn't seeing the effects of what she is doing. For example, if someone offends me in public, I will most likely not make a scene in public. I could pull the person aside later and discuss and tell her that I don't appreciate what you did. I felt offended. You're very rude or whatever, but it is not a scene I'm going to be making in public, especially if the employer of that person is there or the family of that person is there. I don't want to get them in a conflict, get them involved in a conflict that I am having with the other person. That's, I think, is just humanity. um but she doesn't seem to have that because she doesn't seem to be aware of how much damage she's causing. The other option is that she's actually aware but she doesn't care, and that, I think, has nothing to do with the Australian culture. I think that's just her and how much Min Heejin has brainwashed her. So the other aspect of it is the Korean National Assembly paying attention to this thing when there are actual bullying problems that are happening in the workplace, in schools, and you choose this just because it's getting them clicks. So I don't know how such a country with such a an economic power and such technological advancement can actually have political leaders that are like this. I remembered reading something on Twitter the other day, and one, um I guess, I don't know, one official actually said, played the choreography of New Jeans and the choreography of Eyelit and said that they look similar. And I'm like, dude, do you just legislate? How's that? Just don't don't comment, don't talk about choreography, you don't know anything. But it, again, it just shows that these people aren't really there because they want to solve problems. They just want clicks, they just want attention. So it's really disappointing. And I've said this in the other live, and I'll say it again. Even let's just assume that it actually didn't greet them, or the manager said ignore her. That is not bullying. That is very much not bullying. It could be impolite, but it isn't bullying. But if I am a manager and I know that my group is being clocked by your fandom and by you and by the person that you support, yeah, I'm going to protect my own group. And she is old enough, Hanni is old enough to understand and to know that. So, two things: either she knows and she doesn't care because there is an end that they're trying to achieve, and that is to get their contract nullified without paying the fee, or that she's so brainwashed that she really doesn't know the effects of what she's actually doing. Either way is not good. Last point, just a lot of you actually said in the comment section last time that just because they are brainwashed doesn't excuse them from punishment. And I actually totally agree with that. You do need to suffer, not suffer, but you need to face the consequences of your actions. So just because I think they are brainwashed doesn't mean that there are no consequences to face. Definitely. They still need to face the consequences of whatever it is that they are doing. Um, I still do think that they're brainwashed though. What if Hype take that their title and sends the girls on their merry way? What would happen? Do you mean Hype will take the name New Jeans and then just give them? They can, so they're very popular. So I think that regardless of what's going to happen, they're going to have a career. Whether or not they stay with Hype or something, they are going to have a career. It's just a matter of being able to tap the network of Hype. And I'm pretty sure that's why they fought to stay in Hype. And that's why Min Heejin is fighting to stay in Hype, because they know that the network and the resources of Hype, they need those things. But regardless, I do think they're going to have some amount of success. They're going to be very, very successful. Whether or not they're going to be bigger than they already are, that's up for discussion. I don't think so, but I do think that they're going to enjoy some success. High school level petty stuff reflects badly on the dumb company. Yeah, it's actually even, yeah, not even high school. It's just so petty. There are three sides to every story, so I don't agree with people calling her a liar. But again, this girl should have never been themselves front and center. Their career will be forever tainted. Yes. Um, except if you consider Min Heejin calling them names. Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. I'll say it again. If Min Heejin said those things to my niece, I don't have a biological daughter, but I do have a niece that I raised, and if she said that to my niece, I am going to end up in jail. Most likely. I will not allow that. Adore X Hybe are waiting for a moment to put them in the basement. Let's just protect the other Hybe artists. From personal observations at award shows behind the scenes, New Jeans members are not polite or nice to others. They are standoffish, they don't return greetings, and don't make an effort to know others. I was actually, if you're referring to the Inkigayo summer special, the summer concert, I was there, so I saw exactly what happened. I do that all the time at work. What, not read people? Did New Jeans public complaint about Hype really trigger this national commission? I want to know who else is testifying and why this is even a deserving. No, it isn't. They just want the attention because they know that the if there's any, especially if any party in this entire conflict is involved, it's going to get them a lot of attention. Does she not need her company's consent? She should need the company's consent. Okay, if she was summoned by the assembly, according to their law, she can say no. But if she's, I guess, yeah, she needs the consent. Right now, they are trying to build new connection by going to concerts, kissing up to Espa, Kanye West, YG artists. Maybe it's so hypocritical. Min Hee Jin has said worse things about New Jeans than the manager did. I know, right? But I am still wondering why the parents of New Jeans actually let that pass. And why is nobody asking them about it? Like no one, not they've given so many interviews, not a single reporter asked them, why are you allowing this woman to manage the career of your daughter? And after saying all of those things to your daughter, what happened in Inkigayo? So there were two artists that apparently New Jeans snubbed. They didn't say hi to, and both are hype artists. That's what happened. There's it's not a clean 100%. They snubbed them. In one instance, if I remember it correctly, I think this boy group was right in front of them, but it seems that the New Jeans members were talking to someone that was standing behind this boy group from Hybe. And so maybe their attention was actually directed towards that artist instead of this boy group, so they couldn't say hi. It seems Min Heejin has now reverted from herself to New Jeans, speaking up publicly. So it looks like the fight went to New Jeans as versus Hybe rather than Min Heejin versus Hybe. Yeah. So as I've said in the last live that I did, don't lose track of the issue. And the issue is all of these vile things that Min Heejin did. She tried to take over a door. She lied to Hybe. She said all of those things, vile things to about New Jeans and K-pop fans. She tried to look for people, investors that would take a door away from Hybe. She tried to get the to be the sole person in charge of the contract of New Jeans because she wanted to dismiss the contract. She wanted to leave Adore as an empty shell and take New Jeans with her. She wanted to get a meeting with the accountant of BTS for whatever reason. So all of those things, those are the issue, not New Jeans versus Hybe. Always go back and always remind people, no, she's the one who actually said those things to New Jeans and to the parents, manipulated the parents so that they will always be the ones that are giving interviews She brainwashed the children, these young girls. She accused people, other groups, of copying. And then when it was her turn that's being accused, she tried to brush it off as if it's nothing. She caused bullying and encouraged bullying against all of these groups, and she has never apologized for it. The focus should be Min Heejin trying to ruin Hybe Adore. Yes. Sarap talaga kulamin yung Min Heejin na yan. So she's saying that it would be nice to use witchcraft on Min Heejin. Hybe opened the door and now they found out they didn't order a bolted section. I do agree that Hybe has a lot to do with it. I mean, it was them that gave Min Heejin this power. So they have a lot of explaining to do too. I mean, not to the fans. First, at the very least, they should explain to BTS what on earth happened. Bang Luna same, but it took a whole year for us to the criminal issue with Kakao and SM. Did she ever turn in her computer? Nope, she has not turned in her computer. She never surrendered the laptop. Kulang is not effective kasi manananggal na siya. So we have a mythology, I guess a monster in the Philippines, and during the full moon, this monster would actually split their body in half. Usually women, this so upper body and lower body, it splits into half. The upper body actually grows wings, and then they hunt for humans to eat. Nothing to do with Inkigayo. This is personal observation from award shows behind the scenes. This is living sweetly, as my hobby is an executive in SK music industry. Okay. Okay, so living sweetly is talking about something different, entirely different, not even the Inkigayo. So there's more apparently. Can you share some things? Some scoop. Maybe New Jeans got kulam by the shaman. I think Hybe was on to Min Heejin. So kulam is witchcraft. So the kind of a witchcraft that uses dolls as a representation of the person that you want to curse. So that's kulam. We have voting to do, Army, for MTV. That's more important. Yes. Spill the tea. Living sweetly. Voodoo. Yes, voodoo. Okay, another question that I have here with you. So I was asked this question: is it true that Adore set up a new office? I saw this just from one source in Twitter. Well, it was actually forwarded to me by somebody on Twitter, and they said that Adore actually set up a different office. And the office is actually very close to Kakao, and apparently New Jeans and Min Heejin have been working from this office. And the question is, isn't this like a violation of something? Shouldn't it? Okay, my answer is this. I know that Min Heejin is a lot of things. I do hope she's not this stupid. Because this is going to work wonders for Hybe. It's like her handing the victory to Hybe if she actually is doing this. This is breach, a violation of, for sure, a violation of their contract. She shouldn't be doing this. She absolutely shouldn't be doing this. And New Jeans shouldn't be participating in this, because this is absolutely breach 100%. Unless the judge is a lunatic, they're going to hand the victory to Hybe. So that if it is true, super stupid, but it's going to favor Hybe for sure. But at the same time, I have no source for this. As I've said, somebody forwarded me a tweet. It was actually a screen cap of a tweet saying that they set up an office outside of Hybe. My initial reaction was, yay. Like the 16th floor is free. Just in time for J-Hope's return and for the release of the album of Jin. I'm sure that they can very much use the space. They need that space. They deserve that space. But also the next thought is that is so stupid. If they're doing this, it's absolutely stupid. Min Heejin will get what is coming for her. Karma is waving. Min Heejin doesn't want to go to court. She just wants to play media games. I think she's looking for a way on how they can terminate the contract without having to pay the fee, without having to pay the fine. I think that's why they're doing all of these controversies, because they want to terminate the contract without having to pay the fine. But at the same time, I also think that she's going to try and get as much money as she can from HYBE so that she can set up her own company and continue the career of New Jeans. So, yeah, you have to be really careful because we are less than 2 weeks away from the discharge of Hobie, and I told you she's going to go absolutely berserk. She's just going to go batshit crazy to try and do something to spoil the return of J Hope and the release of the first album of Jin. I'm telling you. She's going to do everything within her power. And given that she has nothing to lose, you can expect the craziest thing to happen. Doesn't she, doesn't the hack still owe money? She still owe Bang Shiok personally money. She loaned the money from Bang Shiok and it's co-terminus. So when she leaves HYBE is when she needs to pay. 7 days till he gets out. Exactly. So, well, we have first Jimin's birthday celebration and then J Hope's discharge. International armies remember Jin is a master kidnapper. He and J Hope could kidnap Tap Floor. Oh, yeah, please. I guess the government wants HYBE to give them money. They can't destroy HYBE. It's not that easy to destroy a company. Um, Also, there's also a question that was asked on whether or not Big Hit is still under HYBE. Big Hit was never under HYBE. They were never under HYBE. It is an independent private company. It is 100% owned by HYBE, but it is not under HYBE. I hope that makes sense. Fairlink can adore fire Min Heejin and her brats. They can. They can. Adore can fire them. So right now, um, her current contract as a member of the board is still on, so they can fire her. Yes, it's worrying, so we need to be on guard. I think they're keeping her. I think I've explained this the last time. I think the reason they're trying to keep her is to make sure that the plans for New Jeans will continue. I mean, they are profitable, not the most profitable for sure, but they still are profitable. So it's just the path towards least resistance is to try and make her stay. I'm so glad that kept Big Hit separate from that protects BTS. So if Hype crumbles, Big Hit survives. Yes, keep your enemies closer. Yeah, so Big Hit absolutely not under Hype. That's like one of the mistakes people often make. They are not under Hype. They're a separate company, a separate private company that is owned by Hype. Big Hit makes more money than Hype. I agree. Predictions for the second injunction. Predictions for the second injunction. I think she is going to get some in her favor. And Hype is going to get some in her favor. I at this stage, if the judge is not corrupt, the dismissal of the affiliate of the shareholders agreement will stand because it is a legal move. Every contract has a clause that allows one party to actually automatically dismiss it. So they most likely found that clause and dismissed Min Heejin. So if the judge is not corrupt, that's going to stand. There is a possibility that they are going to ask Hybe to pay her some money. At least a financial analyst explained it as Big Hit stands as sibling of Hybe, but the other labels are like kids. Yes, correct. Yeah, they're like brothers, and then others are children. Yeah, so it's separate, not under. I would like to see one of the labels under Hybe debut more solo singers, not attached to a group. Um, you mean outside of BTS? Because you have 7 solo singers right now. You mean like a really new act that is solo? Can Hybe go to court to get MHJ laptop back? Yes, they can go to court. God was the only NEJ song. God. What is God? On my playlist, but I ended up deleting it. Hybe is quiet and taking notes. Wait, wait, but didn't Hybe say they went to the court to verify? Yes. So yeah, they did. I don't think the decision has actually come out. Either that, or it's just that they're not announcing it. So it's just to make it airtight. Um, so I do have a lawyer friend. So according to him, they do have the right to actually terminate the contract. As I've said, in every contract there is a clause that would allow one party to terminate the contract. So they most likely found that clause and terminated it. I think the reason they went to court to make sure is to just make it airtight and re- avoid Min Heejin from having to do an injunction. Fair Lane, they don't greet, this is Living Sweetly, they don't greet the senior artists and complain if a senior artist doesn't greet them first. They roll their eyes and whisper, then other female idols walk by and have made fun of others. Oh, so like very much like a high school girls, right? Like very childish. Do you think B Lift will sue Hanni or the New Jeans parents? They've already sued. Ah, no, they sued Min Heejin. I do think they're going to sue her. I want to see more adult singers come out of the label. I think they're the I think Hype America will be instrumental in that because in the US, solo acts sell better than groups. So I think that's going to happen, Danji. Yeah, Mean Girls, super Mean Girls. Min Heejin is like cancer in the music industry. When is the court case starts against Min Heejin? The police hasn't even finished investigating. So the police has to finish their investigation and then turn it over to the prosecutor who will then recommend what to do. Whether they're going to file a case or whatever, they're going to forward, the prosecutor will forward it to the court and the court will decide what's going to happen. So the police hasn't even finished the investigation. They need to open that as an avenue in South Korea. I believe it will force the industry to change there. I agree. I agree. I think that's one of the things that's making the K-pop industry uncomfortable is the individual success of BTS members. And specifically because their success is happening globally outside of South Korea. So they're losing control over the industry that they have created. Um, so one of the really great superpowers of BTS is that their success is hinged outside of Korea. So no matter the controversy in South Korea, international fans like us, we don't actually care. So their career is just going to continue because it looks like they deal with children because it makes it easy to manipulate or brainwash younger artists in case of new jeans. Why would Big Hit bring new solo act when they already have seven big ones and doing one for TXT2? Hey, Lee Yoon, why are you forgetting him? So you have seven, Lee Yoon, which is eight, and then now Yeonjun of TXT. So you have nine. Nine. So you have nine. But I think the Yeonjun actually don't like Yeonjun. So I think the path for them is to start out the artists in groups and then build their individual careers from there. Oh, Hyde, not Big Hit. You think he tries hard? Can they bring Ha Yunjin? All for Ha Yunjin. She's my bias in lesserafim. It actually brings me to my next point. Have you watched this video of her doing producing the so there's if you can go to YouTube and watch the episode where they covered her producing Crazier, one of the songs in their album. And I think it's just a great way to get introduced to Yunjin She's such a great producer because she knows exactly what she wants, and she was directing her group mates on what she wants from them. It also, because it was unfiltered, so you can actually hear the voices of the members of Les Seraphim sing with their raw voice, no autotune or anything. And I was so surprised with Kazuha. She has a really good resonance. We have the same bias in lesserafimyunjin. Pink Crystal. That's why we're both from the Philippines. We both have great tastes. Her song with Max was fun. It was fun. And her song with J Hope as well. I love that. So please check it out because you're going to see her vision in the song. It's so apparent. Like she's not one of those idols who's just doing what is being dictated to her. She knows what she wants. Like she knows exactly what she wants out of the members, out of the song, and she can mold it into her liking. It's refreshing. Even for BTS, I really like how whenever they do whenever they feature the members working in the studio, like revising their stuff, redoing the vocals and whatever until they get what they want, because it shows the vision that they have for the song and for their art. So I love this episode. Please watch it. That's one thing I like about Bang. He really encourages his artists to develop their talents. I agree. So who's your favorite female idol or girl group? So mine is still Twice, by the way. At the same night, I heard Jimin's Who being played in the store. I also heard Binny's Cherry on Top. I was so happily shocked. Binny is such an entertaining group. They're great. I love Yunjin, and I love that the company is honing her writing and composing skills. She is being trained as a whole artist. I think she's going to eventually become a main producer, and she's going to push for a US career. She grew up in New York. So Red Velvet. Oh, I love Irene. 21. You don't like a single one. Nugent's parents requested the manager's picture. Yeah, and they're also putting the security guard in trouble. You're liking lesserafim, yes. um Please let me know, Bang Luna, who you end up liking, who ends up being your favorite in the group eventually. My favorite GG is lesserafim. Yunjin is my bias. We have the same taste. And Pink Crystal, we have great tastes. My favorite GG. Okay. In Korea, I love IU. I also love IU. And in the USA, I love Taylor Swift. I do love IU. For in the US, female performer. I don't know. I think I'm so old school. Hmm. Tracy Chapman. Very unexpected, huh? Tracy Chapman, I think, for a female artist. Jessie is the only solo, not a fan of girl groups. Yes, I love IU. Asking for the manager's picture is ludicrous. Did I pronounce that correctly? It looks as if they want to publicly. Yeah, okay, so fast. Amy Lee from Evanescence. Big Mama. Chappelle Rowan. XG. Oh, I love XG. Taylor Swift is too manipulative for me. Okay. Mama Moo. Yes. So they're my second. So Twice and then Mama Moo and Les Seraphim. But Les Seraphim is catching up on Mama Moo. Tracy Chapman, I have all of her cassettes. Are you Gen X? I love G Friend. Mariah Carey is amazing. I'm a Whitney kind of girl. I love XG. Aretha. Oh, of course, Whitney. Yes. Fiona Apple. Sorry, I disagree. The poor girls are bad singing live on stage their own song. Someone that care for them would have forced them to keep and take serious their vocal classes. Who? Lady Gaga, Lea Salonga. Yes, from the Philippines. Adele, Anita Baker. Wait, why are we on suddenly on Western lists? Give me your Asian favorites. I can't believe I used to love New Jeans. I prefer Le Seraphim. Annie Lennox. I have not watched or listened to her songs. Oh, she's also from the Philippines and just recently acknowledged it. Ailey, yeah. You know, Ailey wanted to do a song with Jimin. She wanted to feature Jimin. Lea Salonga is pure perfection. I agree. Gummy. Choi Eugene, lesserafim. Lesserafim can sing Don't Believe K-Nets. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Those things that they were saying again, the seraphim, they were just this is again just manipulation, brainwashing you to believe something that is not true. xg for XG is the best. Pink, Whitney. Pink is so underestimated as a vocalist and underappreciated as a vocalist. Ayumi Hamasaki. Le Seraphim and I'll It. I'm not into girl groups, but I love IU. The Bio Explorer Le Seraphim debut first. What are you talking about? Le Seraphim debut first. They are seniors. Yes, they debuted first. Yunjin is a great cover. Did a great cover. Yes, she did. I posted it in my Twitter. Such a lovely, lovely voice. Min Heejin is the reason for the Seraphim hate. Correct. It must burn their grits that all these groups are doing well international and don't depend on KNets anymore. Yeah, that's the formula that HYBE has that they are hating. That HYBE is actually building the careers of their groups outside of South Korea, and I think more than anything, it's because of financial reasons. The current market isn't enough for them to make the financial returns that they want. That's why they are getting they're trying to expand outside of Korea. Karina from Espa as well. Karina, I love her new song. If you can check it out, Up. I love that. A lot of people are bashing it like it's bad. I don't think it's bad. I mean, it's not a groundbreaking song, but it is good. Like it's something I can bop my head on. So I love it. Even I'll It, they did so well, even with the hell surrounding their debut. Their narrative and their aesthetics is actually one that I really resonate with. I love what where they are going with their aesthetics and narrative. They're not treating their groups as disposables. Correct. Yeah. They're always planning ahead. So for all of their groups, there's always a long-term plan to give them a career beyond their career as a group. Yolin has a good voice. Oh, she has a great voice. Have you ever heard Adora's music? Big Hit's former first female producer, now idol. Of course. Of course. We love her. I love her. Can't wait for I'll It comeback. Let's not forget Army's work so hard to support and protect BTS. K-pop girl groups all sound alike and their lives irritate me. They make me want to throw hands, so not for me. That is fine. Adora helped with Spring Day. Yes. Yes, she did. Okay, see what else I have as topics. Oh, that's it actually. Um, so we are coming into an hour and a half. Do you have questions? Anything that you want to ask? Anything else that you want to talk about? Characters. I don't know if it's enough. I mean, we're almost at so for those of you who don't know, I'm writing a novel. Cat's Eye. I love Cat's Eye. Um and I'm writing a novel, and the usually when I write, so I write scripts, and in any character that I create, I usually need to visualize them using real people, and it can be anybody. It can be a celebrity. It can be a somebody that I met, my friends, family members, and almost I've written 7 full feature films, and almost all of those characters are actually based on real people, meaning when I was writing them I was imagining these people as the characters, um, much to their disappointment. And so in this novel that I'm writing, I'm imagining the 7 boys. It is not them, it is not their character, not based on their personalities at all, very very different. And someone actually described it as like, he when I was talking about it, I was talking about the story, it was like Mission Impossible or something like that. So it's something like that. It's nothing, no shipping, nothing, nothing. Bye, Bang Luna. Good night. Thank you for staying. I know that this is past your bedtime. Um, so I'm writing that story. Could HYBE not send new jeans to the USA to work for a while? Not okay. Sophia is Filipino. Yeah, so I'm writing that story, and I've discussed several of the group of the characters that I sort of matched to the physical, the physical form of BTS members, and so I haven't really discussed. Are we doing anything for Jimin's birthday? Uh, I'll finish this and I'll talk about Jimin's birthday. So I've discussed Jimin's character, Suga's character, Jungkook's character, and Arm's character, and the character of Army. I haven't discussed Jin, J. Oh, I've discussed J Hope as well. So it's just Jin and V. So, question: someone's asking, are we doing anything for the birthday of Jimin? Is there any project? I'm doing a video for Jimin. So that's going to be my project. And then if I find anything on Twitter, any kind of project for Jimin, I'll let you know if there's any trend to tag or anything. But my video is more forward looking on what we can expect from him as a solo artist, and what we can expect from him when he comes back as a member of BTS. So that's what the video is going to be about. They need to dissolve a door and transfer those people's contracts to another part of HYBE. HYBE needs to send MHJ. I'm really curious to see your personification of Jimin's character in your story. Okay, Georgia, I've actually discussed it already, Jimin's character. It's just that remember that this is not based on them. It's just that when I write, I need to I need to imagine a real person. So um yeah. What is V's character? So many people asking for V's character. Okay, so for V's character, he actually didn't, it's just a visualization. Yes. So for V's character, he actually didn't start as a member of the original group. Um so he's going to come in later in the story. So about, and he has been the longest in CIA. So he's been an agent for a while. Um, and something's going to happen that will make the group, RM and the rest, they will encounter V, and he will join the group. So initially, he's the most mysterious because they don't really know much about him except that he is a legendary CIA agent. He became a CIA agent before any of them actually became a formal trainee in CIA. That's all they know about him. He is a sniper, CIA agent. Yes, he is a CIA agent. He's a sniper. Um, but he stopped after his second mission. He stopped and he actually quit. He actually quit CIA and didn't want to become an agent anymore. And the group really didn't know why he quit. So as I've said, something is just going to happen that will make him come back to the group. And part of that is actually RM. So RM, as you know, is the leader of the group, and he is great at strategizing, make make strategies and tactics to make the things that he wants to happen. So when he set his sight on V and decided I want him to become a member of the team, he manipulated things in order to get him into the team. What he didn't count on is the history of V, because he didn't know why he quit. He was by far one of the best snipers in CIA. So what was it that made him quit? And legend has it that in his last mission before he quit, he actually stayed in one spot, not moving for a total of 31 days, waiting for his target. So, and he got it done. He got it done. So he was able to complete the mission, but something happened that made him quit. And then, as I've said, RM is just going to manipulate things to actually get him back into CIA, and he would succeed. V is actually going to come back. But later on, that's going to cause friction, especially when V learns that RM manipulated things. In effect, he manipulated V to get him into the team. So that's V's character. A little bit of mystery. Cypress XSG is not fanfic. No, it's not fanfic. A novel. I'm going to publish it. Um, and staying in one spot 31 days is super inefficient. It would not happen. Yes, it's fiction. When is the book going to be finished? I want to read it. My target is for that to come out before their return. But I will be, if you're a member of my Patreon, I'm going to give a copy to my Patreon subscribers as I finish the chapter. So chapter by chapter, so I can get some feedback, stuff like that. So sounds interesting. Yeah. So they are the youngest CIA agent group that was being formed. And the CIA decided to do that after 9/11. Because when they learned that terrorists are actually training um, bombers as early as 3 years old. So they're grooming them to become suicide bombers. They realize that the only way they can stop this is by stopping them even before they mature to become terrorists. So the best way to do that would be to send in young people as well. So they themselves are grooming these young kids, which happen to be the seven boys, to become anti terrorists. Will ban PD in your book? Of course. So RM's character, before I go, it's now R31 already, but before I go, so RM's character, he's going to be the leader, but the father, the adoptive father of RM is Bang PD, and he is also a CIA agent, and it was actually his project. So this entire thing was his idea. In his last mission, he murdered the father, the biological father of RM, who is a terrorist, grabbed RM, brought him home, and raised him as his son. That's Bang PD. And then Army's character, we are their handler. So as you know, when they go off on their mission, they don't really make contact with CIA. So we're the in between. If they need anything, they call us, and then we provide it to them. And we're so mad in the beginning when we were told that we are going to manage them because they're kids, and we're good, like we're one of the best handlers in CIA. For like, we rock, armies rock. And then they gave us this project and we're like, what the hell? There you go. You literally spoiled the whole story. No, I didn't. That's just the premise. You will know that entire thing you will read in the first chapter. So no, not the whole story. This is twisted. Your story outline reminds me of Slow Horses, the series. I will watch that. Is that a US series? Well, it's been fun, everyone. Good night. Bye, Danji. I am also almost going to say goodbye. Let's. What about in the first 3 minutes? Last 3 minutes. Sorry. Is there anything you want me? Any questions you want to ask? Is it Yunjin's birthday? They posted a short. Yes, it was her birthday. I think yesterday. Wow, this is epic. I need to get a copy of the book. Yes. So Pink Crystal, you're a member of my Patreon. Backstory is fascinating. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mary Jane. Good night, everyone. Salamat sa live. Thank you for being here. So, Pink Krista, I'm going to give you guys a copy of the chapter by chapter as I finish it. Is your reliable source list available? Oh, the reliable source list. I only have like seven names in there. Let me grow it a little bit and then I'll post on Patreon. I'm already a member of your Patreon. Yay, good night. Good night. Thanks for the update of Hype Drama. Okay, I'll do another live. I'll try another time, maybe something that's earlier, and see if you guys, more of you can participate. But also for my Patreon subscribers, I do one live that is just for them at least once a week. Sam L will watch the replay. Thank you, Sam. Be safe, everyone. Okay. Um, Thank you for joining. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all. And hopefully, in the next live, I will spend more time discussing the story. Um, Oh, okay, let me do this before I go off. There. We will not see her comments anymore. Okay, I joined late, so sorry if you already covered this. But will the new Adore CEO get a chance to defend Hybe, or will she just be grilled? She will most likely just be grilled. P.Diddy minion. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you all for being here. As I've said, I'll do another live earlier and see if you guys, more of you, can join. And then one live just for my Patreon subscribers. Thank you. Bye.